Good evening. I'm Chair Brian Haggerty of the El Paso Community College Board of Trustees. I'd like to welcome you to our meeting tonight. I also would like to make a little announcement. If anyone is listening and would like to watch us on television, you can go to the EPCC YouTube channel, refer to the link www.youtube.com/user/goepcc. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, Pam, can you call the roll?
Yes, sir. Mr. Uxer.
Here.
Mrs. Robles. Here. Ms. Nájera is going to be joining us later. Dr. Graham. Here. Ms. Sanchez is also going to join us later. And Mr. Haggerty.
Here. So we have a form, so we can continue on with the meeting. 1.4. Yeah.
Item 1.4, the minutes recorded in the agenda are a summary of the presentations and actions taken. Tape-recorded minutes comprise the full official minutes. These are minutes, item 1.4.1 are minutes from the special meeting held on August the 9th.
Do I have a motion for approval?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the question, Pam.
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye. Again, I'd like to welcome all our guests and staff members. 1.6, Pam.
We don't have anyone signed up for open forum tonight, sir.
Okay. How about 1.7?
Item 1.7, presentations by individuals, groups, and organizations. Item 1.7.1, optional presentations will be made by the presidents of the Classified Staff Association, the Professional Staff Association, the Faculty Association, and the Student Government Association.
Members of the board, Mr. President, vice presidents, deans, guests. Mr. Haggerty, last month he referred to me as, and I quote, that guy. We all had a little laugh. Since then, it occurred to me that maybe I should reintroduce myself to everyone. I'm Dr. Albert Burnham. I've been a member of the EPCC history discipline since August 2004. In August 2009, I achieved tenure, was promoted to associate professor, and in August 2014, advanced to full professor. I earned a Bachelor of Science degree from Minot State College in 1976, Master of Arts 1982, Doctor of Arts 1986 in United States history, both from the University of North Dakota. I have well over 35 years of higher education teaching experience, having taught at North Dakota, University of Minnesota at Duluth, Fond du Lac Community College, Viterbo University. I am in my 20th year at EPCC. At EPCC, I've served on several standing and special committees, including 4 years on the tenure committee. I am currently the district chair for the history discipline and in my second term as president of the EPCC Faculty Association. It is in that role that I give my presentations to the board. The EPCC Faculty Association bylaws require the faculty president or the president's chosen representative to attend board meetings. Thus, I am most assuredly here in my official capacity. Representing the EPCC faculty as Karina Ramirez, Rebecca Bell, Rudy Hernandez, and Melissa Aguilera did before me. So, thank you.
Thank you. My first wife was from North Dakota.
What town?
Hatton, North Dakota.
I've heard of it.
Right in the middle between Fargo and Grand Forks.
Okay, I've probably been there.
Yeah?
Big River Valley.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else like to address the board? Any organizations? 1.8,
Item 1.8, communications. Item 1.8.1, discussion and review of data, statistics, policies, and general information related to El Paso Community College to the Board of Trustees.
Chair Haggerty and members of the board, at this board meeting, we've asked Dr. Carlos Amaya, our Vice President for Student Enrollment Services, to brief the board on our Operation College Bound initiative that he and his team lead along with the rest of the college. Dr. Amaya, please.
Thank you, Dr. Serrata. Chair Haggerty, board members, cabinet colleagues, colleagues at the college, and community members. I'm very excited to be able to stand up here and discuss, share a little bit about Operation College Bound. As Dr. Serrata mentioned, and I'll make sure to mention several times, it's a college-wide initiative, right, led by student services in cooperation also with instruction, counseling, and advising. So I want to make sure that I'm able to share what everybody does in this particular case and really highlight some of the good work that we do at the college to serve our graduating seniors, high school seniors. So I'll give you a little bit of background, right? So you can see what we do. So we hear this question a lot, right, Dr. Graham, where we're asked, what are we doing to reach the students? Well, this is a great example where we take our services directly to the students by visiting their high schools. So it's very much a partnership. We do this in partnership with UTEP, our college partners, internal partners, as well as all the Region 19 ISDs. And what we do is we take our counselors and advisors, admissions and registration, financial aid and veterans affairs, youth student orientation, testing, Center for Students with Disabilities, as well as faculty partners, programs, community partners to visit these high schools. All with the goal of taking these services to the students to allow them to enroll for the fall semester, and you'll see sometimes the summer semester. This past year, we had an especially good year with summer enrollments. And so what are we doing? What are some of the goals? Well, one is we're trying to impact our Talent Strong Texas goals. So you might remember 60 by 30, right, Texas. So 60 by 30 has changed a little bit in that now we've expanded the age group, so it's 25 to 64. And what the goals are is to make sure that students aged 25 to 64, residents of Texas, have some kind of credential of value, a degree or certificate. We're working as well to reduce summer melt. So that means when we enroll students, we want to keep them enrolled because you'll see it's quite a bit of time from the time they get enrolled to when school starts. Also, showcase the academic opportunities. A lot of students and our community don't understand, don't know what the college has to offer. And also, finally, to bring excitement to this, to what we're doing, right? To let the students know that continuing their higher education journey is an exciting and rewarding opportunity. So I don't expect, you'll see some small text at points, and I don't expect you to read that, but just to give you an idea of what our calendar looks like. So and to give you an overview, I'm going to walk you through what we do. So we started this past year, March 27th, and ran all the way through May 6th. And we visited, we had 19 separate events, included 37 different high schools. So the way it works is sometimes we visit a high school and there could be 1, 2, or 3 high school partners. I'll highlight the first one. So March 27th, we started at Fabens. So we start way on our rural school districts. And Fabens hosted, and they hosted Tornillo and Sanelli. So Sanelli and Tornillo visited in the morning, Fabens in the afternoon. And we do that over and over again as we serve the Region 19 school districts. So I kind of jumped ahead, right? I told you what we did. But this takes a lot of advance work. So we have teams, you'll see, right now we're already starting this. We had a meeting the other day, and we took advantage. It wasn't set for this, but we saw our partners from UTEP, Dr. Amanda Vasquez from UTEP, and we started talking about these advanced meetings. So what we do is we typically set up some data sharing meetings where we meet with UTEP, EPCC, and our school district partners, and we talk to them about enrollment stats, 60 by 30 goals, where they want to be, where we should be, the kinds of things that we should be doing to get our students prepared in the Region 19 area. We also, under the leadership of various groups, so the student services groups, and especially recruitment, go out to the high schools many, many times. I tried getting the number from Mr. Talamantes, but it's too many to count, right?
The day visits leading up was too
Yeah.
many.
299 visits, right, through these high schools. Thank you. So that's great. Where we go and we assist them with Applied Texas applications, where we get their official transcripts, where we get test scores such as ACT, SAT, TSI-2, and end of course exam grades, immunization records for meningitis, and then FAFSA and verification documents. So we're gathering all this information to be able to allow us now to move forward with Operation College Bound events. We also have, after that, some preliminary meetings where we visit the schools and work out the logistics because, as I mentioned, this is a big partnership among these different institutions. And you can imagine, it's tough, right? I use this analogy. When we go visit, you go to somebody's house for Thanksgiving and you're there with the different family members, you might have to work a little bit to make that relationship work. Well, we're doing this 19 different times, right? Oftentimes with the extended family, right? And they're coming to visit. So I invited another cousin to come to the house, right? And it becomes a little challenging sometimes, but we work hard to make sure this is going to happen. So you could see, I'm giving an example of a layout where we share a facility with UTEP, welcome the students. And there's so much going on because we bring over 60 staff members every time we hold one of these events. It's truly a road show, right? And you can see all the groups that come. And on the right, I know it's small, but you could see we develop a daily, info sheet where we come in where our staff has the uniform that they're going to wear that day, has a schedule for the school visits, has lunch, parking, classrooms, because not only do we sit in the big gym or a small gym, we also move to different classrooms. So it's a logistical undertaking, right? A pretty big one that we do 19 different times. So what I'd like to do is just walk you through one of these visits, and hopefully you can see how exciting it is. We had to turn the sound down, and hopefully that plays right now, but you can see when students arrive, they come and we're bringing up the excitement. We have Tejano Jack, usually some cheerleaders. You can see those are our recruitment team or our Texas mentors assisting. There you go. You can see nice and excited. This is our first one. This is at Fabian, so our kickoff. Josh Villalobos over here, Dean Villalobos, working to share the 8-week mission campus, checking students in. So the first thing they do is they come to a check-in area. We give them a card. That card has their information, student ID, anything that might be missing, and major, what they've declared. And we have them ready to go. They can also see campus partners. So there's our ATC partners. They can play some games if they need to wait around a little bit. There's the Tejano Empowerment Network sharing some of their good work with the students. So after they check in, we then take students, depending on how big the group is, we have to split them up. We take some to a showcase, and this is really important. The showcase, and you can see Mr. Talamantes over here with a group. We also train other individuals. We had Brenda Juarez from Financial Aid doing some of these presentations as well. And you'll see the little slide at the bottom, and it says, do you know why you're here today? Because sometimes students come to see us and we really have to say it. We have to think back to being in the classroom. Why are you here? We'll set the agenda, share all this information, and then wrap it up again. So when you leave here, this is what you should be doing. Visiting with a counselor and advisor, register for summer semester, check your financial aid status, and then register for new student orientation. We also share all the different programs that we offer so you can see the areas of study. And I think that's a really great opportunity too, because students don't always understand the variety of options that they have when they attend the college. After that, students go and see advising and counseling. And this is a challenge right here. So thank you so much to Dr. Mitchell and her team. There's Oscar Velasquez, and it's also led by Ms. Sandra Lujan. So these are the counselor coordinators who bring their teams and sit and advise every single one of these students as they come through our doors. So they come ready. There's Mireya advising one of the students. They come, and after they see us, they leave with an advising form in hand that says what coursework they should be taking. It doesn't give them their schedule yet, right? We're just at the beginning. Here's what you should be taking, right? They've reviewed whether their exam scores place them, the college readiness standards. Then we send them off to admissions and registration. This team is led by Dr. Cassandra La Chica Chavez. I think in the audience right now, so thank you, Dr. La Chica Chavez. Students go here, and this takes a little bit of work too. So the counselor spends some time seeing the students. Then they come over here where we actually register them for what we're hoping is a full-time schedule at the campus conveniently located near them. I should add that. During that showcase, we also tell them about the 5 campuses in the Administrative Services Center. We want the students to know that they can attend EPCC at a campus convenient and easy for them. The exceptions are some of those specialized courses, right, or specialized programs where they might have to go to Rio Grande or Valle Verde or the campus that offers that program. But when they come to see us here, we're actually registering them for the particular courses, giving them the CRN, and then they leave with that schedule in hand. Following this, they go to financial aid. When they go to financial aid, and that's led by Ms. Ines Lopez, our Executive Director of Financial Aid and Veterans Affairs, this is the big challenging one, the one that we hear about all the time, right? How are students paying for school? Well, we know because of House Bill 3, these students should have already completed their FAFSA. Likewise, FAFSA nights would have already been completed. This year, we're in a little bit of a different situation. I'm telling you about last year, but just so you have the heads up, we're waiting for some new regulations to come down from the federal government regarding FAFSA. So they're not going to release this until December. So we're scrambling right now to try to make sure that we can still meet the needs of students. But when we do see them, we're able to tell them what their award is, right? So they're able to see what they're going to owe, what's going to be paid. And the majority of our students are receiving Pell, so they're going to be in good shape to be able to pay their school and move forward. When they leave financial aid, then we have them sign up for new student orientation. We know the importance of new student orientations, and it gives them that sense of, I'm going to know what's happening at the college. And so this has been a real effort. And I'll thank Dr. Penley and her team and part of our Achieving the Dream work that we just had a coaches meeting recently. And we're letting students know, although it's not one of these mandatory events, it's part of the process. It's part of the enrollment process, and the students need this to be able to feel like they're part of the college and that they have all the information that they need to have a great start and to be able to be successful at the college. I'll share some of the important data in a minute. We also take some of the other student services areas, like testing services. So that's led by Ms. Garza. Oh, I should tell you, NSO is led by Alex Guerrero, so thank you, Alex. Testing led by Christy Garza, recently appointed the testing director. And so we're able to assist students because that's one of the big things, right? We want to see where students stand so that we place them correctly into the appropriate class. We also take the Center for Students with Disabilities led by Maria Lopez. This has been an especially, I think, rewarding area where we know that students, when they're at the public schools, they receive accommodations or receive support through the processes that they have for students with disabilities. They're not always aware of that at the college. We do have a separate department for that, and now we're able to sign students up for this, as well as partnering with New Student Orientation, developing new student orientation that's dedicated to students that are coming from the Center for Students with Disabilities. So we feel that we've really helped raise the awareness and appreciate the leadership there by Ms. Lopez. Finally, I'm leaving this group to the end, but you can probably get an idea that this is the group that's been leading this, right? So it's part of the Student Services Leadership Team, but I'm going to give a special thanks to Mr. Michael Talamantes, Director of Recruitment Services, and his team. You could tell up here on the top left, right? They're a shy group, right? They don't really like to get out, but we ask them to, right? And they're important, right? They check our students in. They bring that celebratory nature, right? They've done all that legwork in advance before we get the students there. And so when the students come see us, and I've saved this for here, you can see that they're checking in right there. There's David Mendez. We've shared the swag bag that the students get. So there's a sling bag for you right in front of you. There should be a t-shirt that matches your size, and then a little group of charging ports, right? And the students get to wear that. And what we really do also is celebrate students who get that, put the shirt on. We take pictures. We have a a 360 camera. We try to get them to post us on social media and raise that excitement level. As part of recruitment services, we also have the Texas Mentors, and these you can see are young people who are really energized, engaged, and are doing a lot of the hard work. I'll also let you know that as we're talking about these 19 events, it's a real road show. It's like the Taylor Swift Eras tour, right? Where we don't have
Careful.
right. We don't have, semi trucks, but we have college vehicles. We have team members that are there early in the morning till late after we're done. So they're the first in, last out, or they might be already at the next school, right, setting up for the next day. So they're the roadies and also the energetic and engaged individuals. You can see them with the signs leading students around. And then our culminating event for Operation College Bound, we bring everybody back to EPCC. So this is Tejano Day. This is a great idea, also brought forward by Mr. Talamantes, where we bring students in. We had done one the previous year, but we didn't call it Tejano Day. We called it a city-wide event. Same idea, right? Where we bring students from public, parochial, private, homeschool, charter schools, as well as anybody who missed our OCB visit. And we bring all the same services, as well as community partners, and let the students tour the campuses, right? And it's a great event. It's kind of a way to wrap things up. This was our, you can see the little video up front, very well attended. We had somewhere near 250 or so students attend. So very nice way to end our Operation College Bound events. I'll recap really quickly. So 19 events, 37 high schools, Tejano Day serving all those different areas. And so we end up serving over 1,900 students. So you have to remember this. We're seeing 1,900 students, but there are students that see us and there are students that see UTEP. But they're able to see us as well, right? Even though they might go to our partners, even if they don't end up registering for us that day, they've seen us in the building. They've worked with us. Our team works with the Go Center specialists, the college readiness professionals at the high schools. So they've been hearing about the college all along. I know the numbers are small, but you can see the big chunks, right? Those three big slices of the pie are the three big school districts in El Paso: EPISD, YISD, and SISD, making up the majority of our enrollment at the college. So pretty similar numbers. It's an N of 2, so there's a little bit of variation. I'm sure if we looked across the years, we would see that the numbers remain pretty consistent, probably growing more on those east side Socorro school district. So I did mention that we register the students starting March 27th. We conclude May 6th. Classes started August 28th. So what do we do to support those students in the interim, right? Those are many months in between. So we've had a real great plan, and I think we've seen the results. I'll show you here in a second. So we have an active text campaign. This was just instituted this summer, and we're really proud of this and working on this. Over on the bottom there, you can see this is a partnership we have with a company called Student Bridge, and we can text the students about all sorts of things. We have lots of campaigns going on. But here's one congratulating them on their acceptance and possibly next steps, or if they have any questions, how to reach out to us. So we respond to those text messages, right? Whether they're texting us, calling us, emailing, we're giving them just about any way to reach out and communicate with us. We also have an active calling campaign where we call the students via telephone if we need to reach out to them, if we're missing something, if we need them to come and finish financial aid work, whatever it might be. We also have an accepted student packet that we're especially proud of as well, and there's an example in front of you too. There's an envelope that you can see, and Diego here is holding the sign, and it says #TejanoProud. We're also trying to get students to use that a little bit more frequently and post on social media. We've seen this commonly used in other areas, but if you take a look at it, what you can see is not only are we celebrating the students, we're sending them their financial aid information. So we know that this packet can get in the hands of their parents. So they get this big, beautiful, colorful packet. that has information about them, whether they're missing any information, as well as their financial aid award, which can encourage them, right, to register, even if they didn't register at OCB, or can encourage the parents to reach out to us or to have those conversations with the students. We also worked very hard for new student orientation. You can see 57 new student orientation sessions between the winter and the summer, and we're really trying to be a little bit more on that traditional side and hold the majority of them in the summer. And you could see serving nearly 3,000 students at all 5 campuses, as well as the specialized new student orientation for Center for Students with Disabilities. So what effect do we think has this had on the students, right, this reducing the summer melt? Last year, we didn't have everything, right? We had an active calling campaign, we emailed the students, and you can see all along, so those are the school districts, number enrolled, and then percent enrolled fall 2022 after check-in. So this is post-census date. And so we had a pretty good retention rate, 87% in 2022. In 2023, we instituted those additional measures right here, and same thing, you can see the ISDs, total enrollment, and then percent retained, so 93%. So although, you know, we don't have exact data correlating this, right, saying, you know, that this was the reason, we saw that after we sent those admitted student packages around, we saw students at the Enrollment Services Center with those packets. We saw people coming in for extended hours with those packets. We had people calling us right after receiving those. So we feel good, as well as receiving some of those text messages, that we're getting some of the results that we're after. And then I'll just share with you some of our enrollment results. So fall 2022, so this is last year's fall post-census enrollment, we were at 24,203 students, which represented a 1% increase over the previous year. We took it, right? We're happy with that improvement in enrollment. But here's the big one. If you look at first time in college, that's FTIC enrollment, we saw a really big improvement. Granted, we're coming out of the pandemic, right? So we know students are coming back because of that too. But we saw a very healthy improvement. This past year, we saw another jump in enrollment, so moving up to 24,963. This is day after census, which represents a 3% increase over the previous year. And I'll share, here's our FTIC enrollment, so first time in college, 4,183. So you'll say a small decrease. I'll tell you why that happened. When we were enrolling students for the summer courses, or for OCB, we had a lot of students enroll for summer. Once they enroll for summer, they are no longer coded or counted as first time in college students. So we're no longer able to count them, but we're happy to have them start their journey with us in the summer. So I'll conclude just by thanking everybody. So as I mentioned, this is a district-wide event. I thank all my cabinet colleagues because everybody works together, from IT and AVP Fernandez helping us with the technology, to VP Flores and his team assisting us with with extended hours, and then VP Smith and his whole team, Dr. Penley, who I'm going to say a special thank you to Sal Moreno with IR, because thank you, Sal. I've reached out to him, I can't tell you how many times, going over data back and forth, finding every single student and making sure that what we were presenting was correct. And thank you all.
Any questions for Dr. Amaya from the board? Great job, Dr. Amaya.
Would you surprise that's a yes? A question.
Yeah,
Were you
please, Mr.
surprised it's a yes?
No.
Okay. First of all, let me say that this retention, attention, percentages, everything has been a topic ever since I've been on the board for a long time, and I like that. I think we're doing good. The only thing I would counsel is that I wouldn't get too wrapped around plus 1% or a minus 3%. What we do is look at the long term and match it with the other controlling factors, and I think it's done well. So, you know, don't congratulate yourself too much on 1%, but don't beat yourself up on a loss of 3%. But I think it's doing well. Okay, for Dr. Amaya, I made some notes while I went through here, and so it'll be a little bit. And some of the stuff you've already answered, and so we'll address that. First of all, on your deal, we have percentages from their deal. You have two different displays. One is the percentages, the number of people that attended from some particular high school, and then that's a percentage that you retained. That's good. I like that because you can see numbers. Then you show what the percentage is of a certain area. Let me say, if you had 2%, two people attend and only one of them's there, that's 50%.
Correct.
So when you do that, pair it up with a number. That drives the importance of the bigger percentages. So, I mean, that's just a suggestion.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm just going to go down the list. How many high schools are there around here? How many high schools
53.
are eligible to be a bunch, right?
Yes,
Do you have a
53.
number?
53.
53, and we actually touch
37.
37.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, and that's, okay, is that because that's really what our schedule can do and will grow, or how, what?
Sure, so we reach out to the school districts. I mean, those count charter schools, so not everybody has the ability. They have small enrollment, so they won't see us, but that's why we offer that Tejano Day. So really, we touch them all.
Okay.
We invite everybody. We have students from Fort Hancock come visit, Del City.
Okay. Now, and I want to bounce around, but when you go there, you have all these people that are excited and everything else, but I noticed that a lot of these places, there's an early college, high school. Do you leverage those kids? Those kids can say, hey, I'm also part of EPCC, and this is what I see. So I assume, if, I do not know, but it seems like that might be a potential to leverage some of their peer group and say, hey, we're here and this is what we see. And they can talk to the rest of them, so.
Yeah, that's a great point. We haven't done that, but that's something maybe we can add to the showcase or during the preparations to have them talk to some of their
Okay,
classmates.
yeah, a big question I had was your data or quantification of direct enrollment, what you affected that. And then that's when and you answered that with the 4,123 and 4,256, I believe, the
Yes.
numbers. That's exactly what I wanted to say, and so that shows that they're effective, and so it's worth that. The only thing I would say is that, okay, out of that, what's the enrollment of EPCC?
Our total?
30,000?
Our total enrollment?
Yeah.
So this past year, we were at 24,900.
Okay, so you're talking like a significant percentage of that. So that's,
Correct.
drive that. I mean, there's a significant percentage, that's good. Okay, you went through there and showed us what a typical format would be, where you outlined all the presentation in the school, the gym, where they'd be that, and they can talk to people face to face. That's good. I think that's what they need. They need to be able to talk to somebody, and I like the way that's organized. Okay, talked about freebies. These are the freebies handouts. I went through that. That's good.
The students love that.
Yeah. Do we get a discount with buying a bunch? I don't know. Okay. I hope so.
We do. We purchase from, approved vendors.
Good, good. Okay, freebies, handouts. Okay, I saw that. I like as much attention you can pay to the parents, and talk dollars to parents, and dollars what the kids can earn to parents, and talk about dollars how they can get out of their parents' pockets. I think that looks good. When you have all these and you bring them in, is that an open attendance, Tejano Day, anybody there in the school, sophomore, junior, and senior, or whatever grade levels are there at that high school, it's open to everybody that can come?
Well, it's been directed, so that's a great question. So it's been really directed towards students that are graduating, towards graduating seniors, right? But I'm glad you're asking that, because we are working on hosting, we're going to be having one coming up. We have a different initiative called Tejano Roundup, where we're going to be visiting the school districts. So we have one planned for Socorro Independent School District, November 16th.
Socorro is November 13th,
November 13th,
and YSD December 12th.
and YSD December 12th. And so what we're going to do is go visit. We're going to take our services as well, and we're going to talk to students and parents about enrolling at the college and getting them familiar with what we offer. We did this last year at Socorro Independent School District. We went to their district service center. But this year we're going to do a special focus and try to get students very interested and more engaged in dual credit, and talk about dual credit opportunities from 9th through 12th. We'll maybe even get some middle school students there because we know they're already thinking about it then, but we'll be reaching out and working with the entire district.
Okay, that's good. Now, one of your slides in here, you had a 4-item slide about, do you know this, do you know that?
Yes.
One of the items I thought would be, and I probably in there, I'd ask them, do you know why you're here? What is it? And then you lead into what do you want to do? And then be able to talk to them if they can identify, hey, I want to be a decent mechanic, okay? You need this kind of credential. We can offer this. I don't know, maybe you have that as part of your presentation, but I would think focus when you talk to the individual students, hey, if that's what you'd like to do, you got to have this certificate, and that's what we do. Or if you want to graduate here, you're going to need a bachelor's degree. But did you know that you can get half of that here? Yeah, you get your degree from EPCC. And by the way, they want to buy my house again. They point out to them that the EPCC students that go on to 4-year schools, Dr. Serrata has the data showing that they actually do better grade point wise than if they go straight to UTEP. I'm not sure that UTEP appreciates you telling them that, but that.
Sure. I'll let you know a little bit about that in the structure because I want to make sure to mention our instructional partners because I think that's a real highlight that we have. I don't know if you're able to see because it's a quick turnaround for that OCB day when they first show up, is we have some really regular, and thank you to AVP Primozic because he has his workforce and CE team there, Dr. Smith and the faculty. I mean, we have lots of great faculty partners who are out there working with the students, and especially in those programs that are looking for enrollment, or really wanting to show what they can offer. So we have that built in.
Okay, when you're talking to a student, give them a card that has a person's name and school phone number and email, somebody, an individual they can contact, and then maybe what if have their email here at UTEP, so they know if they have a personal thing. Yeah, so that was good. The last thing I have is for Dr. Serrata. We show we have the first time in college students, and I know we're a tremendous number, but what about all the people, if we're increasing, but what about all those people that are not? I mean, first time, does that mean we're dropping people are we losing people that come for one time and then they're not returning? In other words, we're not getting persistence.
Yeah, so that's something that we measure on a regular basis, Mr. Exner. I was just looking at data. Our persistence rate continues to rise. It obviously fell during the pandemic. The latest data I have available to me is I was looking at that information today, and we're up to 77%. So not where we want to be, but we're improving it significantly. And this is persistence from fall to spring. And you're right. It's something that we continuously look at the data. Dr. Smith and his team have some significant retention initiatives in place so that we can retain those students from fall to fall. But it's something that we deal with on a regular basis. That data continues to rise as well. Again, we saw slight declines during the pandemic, but we've seen those rebound and we're continuing to move forward.
I guess all I can say is that, we've paid so much attention to, we were 30,000 attendance at one, and we dropped to 24, and it's related to the employment rate and everything else. So it's a matter of attention, and frankly, just in a pure business sense, it really helps us to have more people at the school. But we're better serve the community for that. And I think that the additional focus is that you're providing in the guidance. And what I see out of this program, a good portion of the questions that I had, were addressed one way or the other. Yeah, and I think it's fantastic. The only thing I can say is you've done a wonderful job today, but what are you going to do for us tomorrow?
That's right. So we're working on it. Yes,
You got
sir.
your paycheck, didn't you? Didn't you, for what you've already done? Do you want your next paycheck to do some more?
Of course. We're working on it. We're always looking at
Done good.
Doing great, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Graham?
Sir, thank you so much. You do an amazing job. We're very, very proud of the work that you are, and the team is
Yes,
doing and
definitely a
accomplishing.
team project.
Yes. I just want to point out that, Operation College Bound is not the only recruitment that's happening, because I know that I see Mr. Talamantes over there all over the place. Anytime we call on him, he and his team or assistants show up. I know that you are all recruiting at the orientations of new employees at the Socorro. I don't know if you're doing it at all the other districts, but I know that they are at Socorro. Even if you don't end up recruiting anybody, the presence of the college is there, along with some of the others that are showing up. One of the things that I hear a lot from young people is their eagerness to get employed. And I was just wondering if we couldn't do something to promote the work-study programs or even create more opportunities for employment in the college, because I think that would be an incentive for them to, to say, oh, I could even get a job there, or create some kind of partnerships with McDonald's or whomever is available so that we could promote more opportunities for them to not only get their degree, but that there's an opportunity for them to get employment within the college somewhere on the campuses. I love the idea of you sending those text messages, because I'm always saying we need to send letters, but I know that the kids don't care about letters and they don't care about business cards. They're all technology. But I do think that one of the things that we could start doing possibly would be targeting the middle school kiddos and their parents with the letters, because the parents will get all thrilled that their kid is being invited to consider EPCC. And if we send those letters, we used to send them a long time ago in English and Spanish, but I like what you're doing, sending them electronically, because that gets right to the kiddos. But the parents, can start influencing the students as well, or even themselves, getting excited about coming to the college, because again, Operation College Bound, we're targeting the kiddos in high school right now, but that would also target the others. And the last thing I have is, maybe thinking of how we can get some money to buy certain things, like the kiddos get all excited if they have an opportunity to win a computer or win a car or, something if they attend whatever, So I don't know what percentage of the students attend orientation, but to increase the percentage would be, something that they like to win something, So some prizes or maybe vendors. We have so many vendors in that are doing business with the college. Maybe they could donate some items that could be prizes that could be put out there for the kiddos. But again, you're doing an amazing job. We're so proud of it.
No, thank you so much. Yeah, we'll
Thank
look
you,
into
sir.
that. Thank you all.
Dr. Graham, one of the things that Dr. Maya and his team have done during the orientations and during that last push for enrollment is provided scholarships. They work with financial aid and they provide scholarships to students who attend those events. And so I want to share the kudos that you're sharing with Dr. Maya and the team, all of the divisions that are part of it. But this is a large-scale initiative. We've seen the results from it.
It is.
Thank you. Let the record show that Ms. Sanchez is present. 1.9, Pam?
Item 1.9, Board of Trustees business, none. Item 1.10, Board reports. Item 1.10.1, Treasurer's report, there is none. Item 1.10.2, President's report. Item 1.10.2.1, Dr. William Sarata, College President, will update the Board of Trustees and audience on recent events that have transpired at El Paso Community College.
Good afternoon, Chair Haggerty, members of the board. I'd like to start my report by congratulating EPCC instructors who have reached the rank of full professor. Earlier, we heard Dr. Burnham speak to the fact that he received that rank as well. We held our first annual professor recognition luncheon to recognize professors who earned the rank of full professor as early as 1983 all the way through 2023. To receive the rank of full professor, a professor must have earned tenure and have completed 5 years or more of post-tenure service. This requires incredible dedication, innovation, and a commitment to student success. I'd like to thank Dr. Smith and his office for their hard work and for going above and beyond to ensure our professors feel recognized. Kudos to Dr. Peña and his team for all the hard work and the collaboration with Dr. Smith. Again, congratulations to all of our professors on receiving that recognition. Congratulations to Mrs. Robles for being reelected for a third term to serve as the Western Region Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Representative for the Association of Community College Trustees. Congratulations, Mrs. Robles. The college was announced as one of 4 selected institutions from across the nation that will receive funding to empower student parents. I heard that term come across several times during Dr. Amaya's presentation. The college will join a cohort of 4 community colleges across the country selected to partner with Ascend at the Aspen Institute's Post-Secondary Leadership Circle Activation Fund. Ascend's new capacity building fund provides financial support and expert technical assistance to selected community college campuses to accelerate institutional investment and to expanding effective, equitable, and culturally informed student-parent supports. We look forward to sharing the results of the changes these funds will make in the lives of our student parents. On September 18th, Region 19 hosted the first dual credit symposium with 71 high school and middle school administrators. Dr. Graham, we do hit the middle school administrators in attendance. The agenda included a welcome by Dr. Armando Aguirre, Region 19 Executive Director, and presentations by Dean Tony Badillo, Dr. Cassandra La Chica Chavez, Rene Chavez, Diana Medina, Sue Selk, and Lorena Gonzalez from EPCC. Special thanks to Mrs. Barbara Amaya, the spouse of Dr. Amaya, and her team for Region 19 for organizing the event and everyone involved in this project. On September 26, EPCC hosted the Fall 2023 Early College High School Leadership Council meeting with 66 members in attendance. The agenda included welcoming remarks by Dean Tony Badillo, presentations by Dr. Cassandra La Chica Chavez, Dr. Donna Echo from Educate Texas, and Ms. Yvette Savina and Valeria Romo de Vivar from UTEP, Jason Urtalarde and Erica Olivas, administrators in charge of Burgess Early College High School and Socorro Early College High School respectively, shared their history of their schools, best practices, as well as challenges. These were EPCC's 7th and 8th early college high schools, and they were also our first school within a school models in El Paso and Socorro Independent School Districts. Congratulations on the great event. EPCC hosted the Fall 2023 Counseling Institute with 136 attendees. Thank you to Rene Chavez, Diana Medina, and Olaya Casares for coordinating the event, and to the presenters, Liz Estrada, Brenda Juarez, Tony Granillo, Laura Gonzalez, Mary Beth Hahn, and Dr. Cassandra La Chica Chavez from the college, and Valeria Romo de Vivar, Yvette Savina, and Leticia Luna from UTEP. Thank you for your efforts on this wonderful event. On September 27th, the Valle Verde campus celebrated Language Institute Day by raising flags from 24 countries at the Americana Village. Students raised flags in traditional attire from their homelands and performed live music and celebration. Numerous faculty, staff joined the 200-plus students enrolled at the Institute for the celebration. I want to thank the Language Institute faculty and staff for their continued efforts to engage our students outside the traditional classroom setting. The EPCC Northwest Library and the Northwest Government Discipline celebrated National Voter Registration Day and Constitution Day on September 19th with free food, pocket constitutions, election swag, and voter registration. I see Judge Haggerty wearing his I Voted sticker today. Assistant Professor James Stepp coordinated the event with the Northwest Librarian Rachel Murphy and with the help of voter deputy registrars Northwest Librarian Blake Klizmasara and Northwest Counselor Sonia Santana. 50 people attended the event. Even though most attendees were early college high school students who were not old enough yet to register. A seed was planted in their minds to create awareness that EPCC voter deputy registrars are available when they're ready. Your vote, your voice. Thank you for an outstanding event. The Public Library Association awarded $1.27 million to more than 200 public libraries for digital literacy and affordable connectivity program, workshops, a national initiative part of expanded support from AT&T to help families build online skills and learn about the ACP. The Jenna Welsh and Laura Bush Community Library participated last year in cohort 1 of this initiative, and 160 libraries were selected. Our library participated in cohort 2 this year, and 200 libraries were selected. Of the 160 libraries from cohort 1 and the 200 from cohort 2, the Public Library Association and AT&T have selected 3 public libraries nationwide to celebrate the initiative's success. The Jenna Welsh and Laura Bush Community Library was one of 3 selected sites that presented at the Association of Small and Rural Libraries Annual Conference on September 22nd in Wichita, Kansas, and was one of 3 sites to host significant celebration events. PLA and AT&T will cover all expenses for the face-to-face event scheduled on November 9th, 2023 at the Northwest Campus. Congratulations on this selection and recognition to Ms. Laura Lee Ambris and her colleagues. The Border Library Association will host its 2023 conference on Saturday, December 2nd at the EPCC Northwest Campus. The conference will provide many workshop sessions that professionally develop librarians, teachers, staff members, and administration. Our keynote speaker will be author Ms. Leslie Lutz. Her thriller Fractured Tide is a 2020 Junior Library Guild selected and voted Best of 2020 by Suspense Magazine. Her work has gained recognition through several publications. She has also spoken at several writing conventions and fan events, including the DFW Con, and the Tome Con conferences. The Northwest Campus Library is very excited to be hosting this upcoming event. The EMSP and medical assisting faculty conducted a flu vaccine campaign throughout the district at the 5 campuses as well as the Administrative Services Center. A total of 748 vaccines were administered to our community. The flu vaccine was provided free of charge to students, faculty, and staff via an initiative of partnership between EPCC and the City of El Paso to promote wellness and positive health behaviors among our community members. The EPCC Dental Hygiene Discipline and the Woody Hunt School of Dental Medicine are collaborating to establish a major clinical site that is mutually beneficial to both institutions. It will support an upsurge in enrollment of dental hygiene students, effectively tackling workforce shortages, fostering collaborative teamwork with dental students from both institutions, and enabling patient referrals for comprehensive treatment. This collaboration was marked by a promotional and marketing event at the Dental Oral Health Clinic at the Texas Tech location here in El Paso. I would like to congratulate Board Chair Haggerty for being recognized as the Western Region Trustee Leadership Award, which we have for you here, Chair. That's for you, Judge. We're certainly proud you being selected as a Western Region Trustee Leadership Award, and finally, Ms. Pam Payne for receiving both the Western Regional Professional Board Staff Member Award as well as the ACCT Professional Board Staff Member Award, the national award for Ms. Payne. Wow. That's what we have right. Pam's dedication to EPCC was recognized at the national level for exemplary service to the Board of Trustees over 38+ years. Well-deserved, Pam. Congratulations.
That's impressive since you're only 40.
You're too kind.
Since the last board meeting, I've participated in over 50 virtual and/or in-person meetings, including 2 TAC meetings. a panel discussion with other community college leaders to discuss Texas's historic restructuring of community colleges through House Bill 8 during the 88th legislative session at the ACCT Leadership Conference, and a TAC Executive Committee meeting during which I passed the virtual gavel of leading the organization to Dr. Brenda Kays, who will lead the organization through the 2025 legislative session. So my time as chair of TAC has now ended. I'm fortunate that it has ended. In addition, thank you, Dr. Graham. I feel like clapping myself. I participated in the 2023 Mid-Service Program Conference for the Federal Reserve Board Bank. I chaired the Community College Standing Advisory Committee meeting, as well as a public meeting during which we had members of the state, including business and industry, philanthropic, and higher education leaders provide input to the committee. I attended the Global Community College Leadership Network CEO Roundtable, attended the STAR Scholarship Fund Extravaganza. I want to thank Judge Haggerty, Ms. Nájera, and Mrs. Robles for representing the board at that event. Attended the ACCT Annual Conference with Chair Haggerty, Ms. Nájera, and Mrs. Robles. Participated in a keynote plenary session during which I was interviewed by Gates Foundation President Alan Golston at the National College Attainment Network National Conference that was held in Dallas. Participated in the Texas Association of College and University Student Personnel Administrators Conference, which was held at UTEP. This year's theme was Power and Partnerships, and I was fortunate to share the stage with UTEP Provost John Wiebe on the importance of partnerships in supporting student success and highlight a few strategic alliances and partnerships that have had a significant impact on students, our community, and higher education in the borderland. Attended the Fajitas and Margarita event. Thank you to all who attended, including our sponsors. Your commitment will make a positive difference in our students' lives. Again, thank you, Judge Haggerty, Dr. Graham, Ms. Nájera, and Ms. Robles for representing the board at the event. Presented on leadership to a UT Austin doctoral leadership class. Co-hosted with Dr. Wilson a Region 19 Superintendent's Working Lunch to discuss and collaborate on world-class education opportunities in the areas such as computer science, engineering, as well as teacher development. Had the pleasure of doing the coin toss this past Friday for the Coronado versus America's game. Appreciate the opportunity of doing the ceremonial coin toss to start the Coronado versus America Trailblazers game. I'd like to thank Mr. Heine as well as Mr. Talamantes. And Dr. Graham, you're right, he is everywhere. Mr. Talamantes in the recruitment department, as well as our cheerleaders and TJ for interacting with potential students and for joining me at the game toss this past Friday. Chair Haggerty, that concludes my report. I'm happy to respond to any questions which the board may have.
Any questions? Good job, Doc.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Pam, 1.11.
And item 1.11, consent docket. This includes item 3.2.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the question, Pam.
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye.
Item 2.0, administration. No action is required. Item 2.1, CKB local TASB policy is presented for first reading and information only. Section 3, personnel. Item 3.1, discussion and action to approve full-time staff and faculty recruited in positions funded by the institutional budget.
Move to approve.
Second?
Any discussion? Call the question.
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye.
Item 3.3, information items. No action is required. Section 4, financial services, there are none. Section 5, physical facilities, there are none. Section 6, curriculum and instruction, item 6.1, discussion and action on the procurement of an early alert system, student success and retention software to support a holistic approach to student success in an amount not to exceed $430,283 for 3 years.
Move to approve?
Good.
Any discussion?
Yes. I don't disagree with the concept. I think we need to, this is very good. We need early alert and everything else. But I don't understand why we have to pay almost $500,000 to do something that looks like it's programming. Is it that expensive just to be able to get the people to talk to each other? And on top of that, it's only for 3 years. We've got to spend $130,000 each year. I mean, we have people that can program stuff like this, so, I'm not sure that, I think the concept is great of that. It seems to me that $430,000, and then at the end of 3 years, we don't have anything. We don't have a system. And if somebody else says they monitor it and water it, just $430,000 for 3 years on something that actually conceivably could be done. I know we have people overloaded, but $430,000 would pay for a lot of programming talent.
I'll ask Dr. Smith to weigh in, Mr. Uxer. I'll share. Conceptually, you're right, I agree, and yet it is more and more difficult to recruit talent, specifically in programming and in coding. But I'll let Dr. Smith respond.
Mr. Uxer, great points. As an ex-IT professional myself, I certainly understand the notion behind it. I'll couch my comments with a little history. So we were round one institution for the AACC Pathways group pre-pandemic. And we started talking about this kind of joint work then. And as we've gone through the pandemic, come out of the pandemic, there isn't a solution in-house that does the kinds of things that we're asking this particular piece of software to do. We currently have a very small application, DropGuard, that is our early alert software. It is not robust enough to do the case management, the joint access for faculty, advisors, counselors, student services folks to have access to the same records and be able to see what the touch points for that students were in each of those areas. And the other part of that is the outreach portion, so the communication with students. And so you see Dr. Maya and his team working with other vendors to do the texting, et cetera. So this will help in that regard as well and be a more cohesive version. I would echo Dr. Serrata's comments. Hiring IT professionals to do the work at this point is extremely challenging.
Okay, I just guess that to me, not being familiar with the IT parts anymore, what I used to be, $430,000 just seems like a lot of money to buy something that dies in 3 years. I mean, for that kind of money, I would think that we ought to be able to provide, at least have a base product that doesn't expire in 3 years. And I would let it go with that. It's my feeling is just.
If it makes you feel any better, Mr. Uxer, there is an additional 3 years opportunity for a total of 6 years. But along with the software processes, we will by then have developed internal processes on how to handle student data, use the data that's available to us in recruiting, retaining, and keeping students.
You said for additional 3 years, but I'm sure those additional 3 years are not freebies.
Correct.
So that doesn't make me feel any better just because there's 3 additional years. Okay.
How many programmers do we have right now at the college?
I wouldn't be able to answer that question.
I'm surprised if we have any because they are not easy to find.
It seems to me that this might be an area that you could actually write a spec sheet and see if you have some standalone independent programmers. But I wouldn't want to question something I'm sure you and your due diligence have already looked at.
Any other questions? Call the question, Pat.
Mr. Uxer,
Reluctantly, aye.
Mrs. Robles,
Aye.
Dr. Graham,
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez,
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye.
Item 6.2, discussion and action on the approval of a sub-grant agreement with Oklahoma University in the amount of $49,952.
Move to approve?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the question, Pat.
Mr. Uxer,
Aye.
Mrs. Robles,
Aye.
Dr. Graham,
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye.
Item 6.3, discussion and action on the acceptance of a grant from the Texas Library and Archives Foundation Incorporated in the amount of $10,000.
Move to approve?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the question.
Mr. Uxer,
Aye.
Mrs. Robles,
Aye.
Dr. Graham,
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye.
Section 7, Student Services, Item 7.1, discussion and action on the approval of a contract to the University of Texas at El Paso, UTEP, Office of Special Events for the use of the Don Haskins Center for commencement ceremonies in an amount not to exceed $130,000.
Move to approve?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the
Second.
question.
Mr. Uxer,
Aye.
Mrs. Robles,
Aye.
Dr. Graham,
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye.
I guess it is time for adjournment.
And before we adjourn, I just want to remind everyone, our next board meeting will be at 4:30 on November the 29th, right here at the boardroom. And do I have a motion for adjournment?
So made, sir.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Adjourn. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.